Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Arrow Season 5, Episode 3. So let's start talking about this episode. Here we get to see a little bit of the same thing of Oliver not trusting his team, and then trusting his team to defeat our villain of the week, who is Stardust, who is a wrestler in real life. And I think his name wasn't actually Stardust, he was selling Stardust, which is like Vertigo, a drug in the Arrow universe, but we're going to call him Stardust because he utilized the name, and that's what he is in wrestling, so why not call him Stardust here? So he's the villain of the story. They kind of, I don't want to say easily defeated him, but in the end, they defeat him. The church guy is mentioned again. The other villain, the Dark Archer type villain, we don't know his name yet. He wasn't shown in this episode, which I was surprised, because every other episode they've ended with him, so there was no appearance from him in this episode. But other smaller stories going on. Obviously Oliver figuring himself out as a mayor, that he doesn't really have a lot of control about being mayor. That connects to Thea's story, where she doesn't feel she's really adequate for this job. She feels like, you know, a lot of weight is being put on her shoulders, but she's still Thea. After a reporter twists her words and manipulates Thea, she's like, I don't play that game. If you do this again, I'm gonna whoop your ass, pretty much. So that's Thea's arc, and then Diggle is dealing with a lot of psychological stuff, where he's seeing Deadshot, because he has this guilt still about his brother. He's in jail. There's a lot of craziness happening with Diggle. And then Felicity having to deal with her trauma of exploding that town and being connected to their new recruit. So what do I think of the episode overall? I was pretty bored with it, honestly. There's a lot of faults. I'll talk a little bit about the positives. There were small positives in the episode. I liked the idea of Diggle still. I like the idea of his story, his psychological problems, but when he's on screen, I'm never very interested in his story. Again, that might just be a personal connection with Diggle's story. I never really liked the Suicide Squad, never really liked that connection. His military stories I was never really interested in, which is weird because I usually do like military stories, but I just haven't been able to connect with Diggle. But on the plus side, I like that they're focusing on him and giving him his own arc now that he's not really on the team. Another positive and negative, honestly, was for Thea in this episode. Positive is that she's still Thea. She's still able to, I guess, defeat her own enemy in this episode, but wow, they did nothing with her character, and I really hate the direction of the character right now, because she's been demoted so much in this show. She used to be a partner to Oliver, not just a sidekick. She was a partner to Oliver on the field, as a sister, and now she's a sidekick to his mayor job. I mean, that's kind of her purpose here, and her biggest worry in this episode is having to deal with the press. That's her story arc. So I just don't know what direction they're going with her. I hope she puts on the suit soon, because they still have the suits lined up in the lair, which I like that scene with the new vigilantes, of them looking at pretty much their counterparts. So you had Mr. Terrific looking at Diggle, you had Wild Dog looking at the Green Arrow suit, Artemis looking at Thea's suit, and then that other new guy, don't even remember his name. I don't remember his name at all. Ragdoll, maybe, looking at Black Canary's suit. And they all make sense. Especially that the guy who's a little bit darker looking at Black Canary because she was a darker character, and then Thea and Artemis kind of, I guess, being young female heroes, and then Mr. Terrific taking the place of Diggle as that word of wisdom type character. And I think the hot-headedness of Wild Dog is the reason they compare it to Oliver. So I like that scene, even though I really don't like the recruits besides Mr. Terrific, because we know Curtis from last season, so we have a little bit more development from him. He's funny in the episode, so he adds a little bit more to the show. But Wild Dog, he's just hot-headed, haven't really gotten anything like from him. Artemis does nothing in this show besides saying, hey, can we date? Like, she just has these one-liners, like, she just doesn't have a place there, which is a shame because she's based on the Young Justice character who is amazing in that show. And then the other guy, I don't even remember his name, where they try to make an emotional arc for Felicity, which, again, I liked what they were going for, but the execution wasn't there. It kind of felt shooed in when they're like, oh, well, we gotta talk about Felicity here, so let's talk about, her trauma that she destroyed this town, and they end up connecting to that guy. I kind of wish they spent more time on that, because again, it felt more shoehorned than an actual emotional arc for Felicity, and I mean, I'm sure that will play out more because they didn't leave it on good terms in the end, but I was a bit disappointed with that. So the supporting characters in general were really disappointing. I guess all the characters were, honestly, because Oliver wasn't any better in this episode, because he's doing the same exact thing he's been doing every other episode. It just seems like they fix things, revert things, fix things, revert things. It's 2 steps forward, 4 steps back with this season. And let's start talking about Stardust as a villain. I guess he was fun. Like, if you like wrestling, I'm not into wrestling, but I liked, I guess, the panels I saw with Stardust and Oliver and their interaction as real people was fun. Oliver, Stephen Amell. Their interaction as real people was fun, but Cody Rhodes is very much a wrestling actor. Everything he says is really over the top, and you think you're like in a wrestling match while he talks in this episode. So I was pretty disappointed with this one. I know a lot of people were looking forward to the return of Deadshot. I liked the twist to it, but still had no connection to the character. And I'm just hoping the show picks up, because I've been pretty disappointed with the direction the show's been going in, but we will see. I'm hoping with the Diggle stuff next episode we'll be going back a little bit more to the old team, but still seems like the new recruits are doing stuff, which again, don't really care about them too much. I would like Thea to be involved with the next episode to help her friend. I think that would be a really good reason to get back to the suit. And again, it's better than dealing with press problems. But let me know in the comments below what you thought of the episode. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.